Daniel Cormier.
Guys, it's late. It's Saturday, June 21st. It's going to be midnight on the East Coast, but I had to get with you. And today's episode is brought to you by Total Wireless, the official wireless provider of UFC. They're in your corner with unlimited 5G data that won't slow you down. Oh, my goodness. Jon Jones just walked away. Dana White announced it after the UFC fight night in Baku, Azerbaijan. Said he is officially retired, and Tom Aspinall is the UFC heavyweight champion. Unbelievable. I didn't think that it was going to happen this fast. I mean, Jones then puts out a statement that said, today, I'm officially announcing my retirement from the UFC. The decision comes after a lot of reflection, and I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for the journey I've experienced over the years. And boy, what a journey it has been. But here's the deal, guys, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I said, if Jon Jones doesn't fight this guy, Jon Jones quit. If Jon Jones does not fight Tom Aspinall, he quit. Because he will walk away from something that has defined his entire adult life. When Jon Jones was a junior college national champion and he couldn't go to Division I wrestling and he chose to fight, this is what saved him. When Jon Jones had multiple run-ins with the law outside of fighting, he came back to fighting and it saved him. It allowed for him to build a great life. And honestly, I'm not mad that this young man has a life with his family and they got money and they got all these great things. It does not change the fact that by not stepping in that octagon, he quit. He didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. It's so surprising. Is he scared? No. But by not fighting Aspinall, he opened a conversation. He lets you, every one of you, question why he doesn't fight him. I told you guys, when you are 37, 38, 39, it's much different looking in the mirror than you are at 28, 29 years old, like he was when he was fighting us. You're a different human being, especially when you've lived a pretty hard life or a life where you enjoy the spoils that come with being the world champion. And there are a lot of things that come with being the world champion. It's a matter of what you choose to partake in. When Jon and I fought the first time, he was partaking in some stuff. So it seems as though he's lived a pretty fun life. And you got a young, hungry champion that goes, I want to kick this dude's ass, especially when you know you've got millions of dollars in the bank. You're doing very well. You just bought a brand new, beautiful home in Albuquerque. But you know what it takes. You know what you went through to beat me. You know what you went through to beat Stipe. You know what you went through to beat Gustafsson. You know what it took to get there, but you don't have that desire to do so. So he walked away. He's had some hiccups over the last month, and I've been judging him along the way. It was talking about Chael and I, how we sit on a podcast and we talk about him. He talked about how he makes more money than both of us in a week. He talked about fighting Francis Ngannou, but he didn't talk about fighting this guy because he never truly had any intention of fighting this guy. Tom Aspinall was waiting. The UFC was waiting. Everybody's waiting for a decision when in reality, you're the heavyweight champ. You're supposed to fight. You go out there and you do the job. You go fight that dude and you put him in his place. Because the reality is a vast majority of the people that will watch or were going to watch believe that Jon Jones was going to beat Tom Aspinall. Me looking at the fight, and if I look at it objectively, Jones is the favorite. Does that mean Tom won't catch him? No. Stipe was hitting him. Tom might be able to knock him out. But you don't know. Because as anyone in the octagon or anyone that goes into the octagon, I will tell you, no one has done that better. Because inside that 8-sided fence, Jon Jones is a mother. Excuse my language. And Luis, you're going to have to bleep that. He is something else inside the 8 sides of that octagon. He's fast. He's tough. He's durable. He's smart. He does everything the right way in the octagon. So it's hard for a guy that has spent 40 minutes in there with him to go, well, that dude's going to beat him. Because when he beat me in Anaheim, I was never better. I never trained harder. I was never more committed to my diet, my nutrition, to my livelihood, to my life. I never lived cleaner than I did for that fight, and he beat me. That tells me how special Jon Jones is. But does it change the fact that him walking away right now, when he's on the older side and the guy that he's supposed to fight's on the younger side, Tom's 32. He's fresh. Tom hasn't taken any damage. Jon has been in wars with those guys, with myself, with Gustafsson, with Dominic. Tom has taken no damage. To walk away right now opens the door for people to start having the conversation about, does this affect the legacy? Because I feel like many decisions he made over the course of this last month, where he was hiccuping and he was stumbling all over the internet and he was so present publicly. He was in that pool with the Russians, swimming, getting dipped, looking happier than he's ever looked in his entire life. He's talking about how much money he's making. He's talking in third person. All those hiccups. Ariel's judging him. Chael's judging him. I'm judging him. Bisping's judging him. Demetrius Johnson's judging him. Alexander Volkanovski's judging him. The people that matter to him are judging him. And it didn't matter. All those hiccups. He felt assured that he was doing the right thing, but he wasn't. He's supposed to fight. You know, every great champion, from Muhammad Ali to George St. Pierre to Chuck Liddell to myself, they've all left the ladder down. Very few people don't. Very few people leave without opening the door for that next guy to get a chance. Khabib did it. He fought Justin Gaethje. He fought Dustin Poirier after McGregor, his biggest pay-per-view and biggest payday of all time. He dropped the ladder to the next guy and said, on the way out, I will give another guy a chance to see if he can supplant me. If he doesn't do it, I'm done. It happened. Khabib did it. Demetrius Johnson did it with Henry Cejudo. You give the guy a chance. You give the guy a chance. In wrestling, in basketball, I made the Michael Jordan comparison to the Lakers. I made the Kobe Bryant comparison. LeBron James, all the great basketball players, when the Cowboys were the rivalry, they had to go through the 49ers when they were the dynasty in the 90s. But you always got to give that opportunity. Floyd Mayweather never really gave that opportunity. Floyd said, I'm going to protect what I got, make a lot of money and take the fights when I want them, where I want them. That's what Jon's doing. Doesn't want to fight Tom. And I honestly feel like if Tom loses, he would come back. And that's crazy to me because that's going to only make it worse. Now, outside of all that, we know Jon Jones has a history of things with the law. And today, I find out through people on the internet, because even today, they still love to send me things about Jon Jones. That Jon Jones has a pending thing in Albuquerque right now. That's just sad. Because I watched Kevin Garnett talk about basketball and start crying. It made me question, what does this guy's life look like when he does not have this? I felt when I was watching that Jon Jones is so tied to mixed martial arts. What does life look like when it's gone? It will leave such a void, as it does for so many fighters. I guess this is what it said. There's a criminal complaint against Jon Jones. It stated that an Albuquerque police officer was investigating a traffic crash near San Mateo and Lomas when she came across a woman in the front passenger seat of one of the cars exhibiting signs of significant intoxication and lacking clothing from the waist down. I got this from the Albuquerque Journal, which was sent to me. The woman reportedly said Jones was the driver but fled the scene on foot. She didn't call Jones, the complaint stated, and the police service aide spoke to the man on the other end of the call, believed to be Jones. He appeared to be heavily intoxicated and made statements implying his capacity to employ lethal force through third parties, through the PSA. The court record stated the PSA requested backup after what was believed to be a threat when a police officer then talked to Jones and said similar allusions to violence were made. The man on the phone never answered direct questions about whether he was Jones, the complaint stated. When interviewed in person a few days after the crash, Jones said the woman found in the car had left his house earlier in the day intoxicated and called him after getting in a crash, at which time Jones said the person she handed the phone to immediately opened the conversation with unprofessional language, which led to him doubting the legitimacy of the individual's claim. The woman later told police she drank alcohol and consumed mushroom at Jones's house and recalled needing to change her clothes at his house. And her next recollection was being at the scene of the crime, the traffic accident. She said the last person she remembered driving her car was Jones. The court record indicated. Police said Jones called the woman's phone 13 times from the time of the crash until 11:34 a.m. the following morning. And that text messages from his phone were included, though they could not be captured in call detail records. The police report indicated the crash happened February 21st, but also in one place stated an officer conducted follow-up interviews on January 24th. It's unclear why the charge against Jones wasn't filed until months after the incident. There's no indication that the charges and the decision to retire are connected. That's the whole statement from the Albuquerque Journal, that in January Jones had an issue. The saddest thing about this to me is that it's not surprising. You know, I've seen him do things over the course of his career that have been very dangerous and very, it's just not smart. I hope that as he goes into this next phase of his career, if it's over forever, he fills the void with something positive. He's got some beautiful children. He's got a longtime girlfriend. He needs to fill that time with those people if he's going to be able to come out of the other side of his career with something else. Because even if you have a lot of money, you can have money and still not have purpose. His purpose is in those beautiful kids of his. His purpose is in that beautiful woman of his. That's his purpose. He needs to find a way to lock in on that and not all of these other things. Because if I never heard another story like that about Jon Jones, that would not be soon enough. I don't want to hear that. I don't celebrate that. So when people send me the article and goes, wow, trash, this guy, that doesn't really make me happy. It makes me look at another black athlete that is struggling. I hope this guy gets it together, man. Beating Tom Aspinall would have further legitimized his career. I don't know that he needs it. He won unbeaten in 20 UFC fights, won 16 UFC title fights. He's done it all. But what happened today opens the conversation for us to question whether or not he ran away. I will go to my grave believing he quit instead of fighting that guy. I can also hope that this dude gets that other stuff under control. I read you the entire article. I didn't make nothing up. That was word for word, verbatim. Jon Jones got to get this shit together, man. We saw his brother struggle down the stretch when he's playing football. And it made me sad to see. I hope we don't go down the same path with this guy. I normally would wait till the morning, guys, but I needed to get this out tonight. I'll have more on good guy, bad guy on Monday. But it's official. Jon Jones is done. I don't know if this is tactics by the UFC. I don't know that this is frustrations with Jon Jones. I don't know what this is. Does it feel like the end completely? I hope it does. Because if he cares about his legacy, he doesn't want to be sitting there beating up on guys that may get past Tom Aspinall. They gave him the money. They agreed to everything. And he still just would not do it. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Like this, my head's spinning. It was crazy when Dana said that. But thank you guys for the support. I appreciate it. I said I wasn't making any more Jon Jones videos, and then this happened. So I'll make another Jon Jones video. Jon, get it together, man. Until next time, guys. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends about my YouTube channel. Peace.